I found a lot of answers to some unusual questions looking through my mail from the 1970s and studying cinema's history. But I probably will never understand where the killers got the idea for getting a total blackout on what was done to me out of the Dakota in the name of John Lennon. While I understand how that was said to operate, Ringo Starr saying he didn't want somebody who was unworthy claiming the same victimhood by the same perpetrator group as John Lennon, which by their accounting happens to be true. If you believe John Lennon was victimized, if you don't believe John Lennon was victimized, then I'm the only victim in the attack. As such, in terms of prior scripting. Of course, it has a strange purpose, which is to give leverage to those who started AIDS in selling justification for AIDS to the victims by getting them to hate me over John Lennon. But I will probably never understand who thought of all of that, how they thought of it. That they did and how it operated, I do understand. And I understand that part of the blackout took place because they don't want anybody to realize that there's a profound section of evidence that Lennon was in on it, that they faked his death. These were the people who made things about faking death in movies. And while I do want to get into that a little, I'm most concerned with getting you, if you're interested in this, watching spy camming to help me up to date with what they did in terms of getting away with torturing and murdering me for profit. This is from a book, a presentation about Hitler's cinema system. See, it says a timeless film moment when cinema celebrates itself. It starts as a mirror, and then the person in the movie begins watching a movie in the mirror. And what I have found is that they use cinema as a mirror of reality. The Telltale clip shows the same war game, Two Virgins, that came up at the University of Pittsburgh. Notice this was from the Pitt News around the time of my father's death. And there's a man named Dixon and something that says Lady Panthers. And this was the time when I was seduced by someone working with Good Kind, the Good Kind. And it was given as a justification for the Green Party black man, Obama, to call dibs on Midori Goto, the diva of the script. And if you look at the film Diva, which is about a tape hidden in the kid's mailbag without him being aware of it, that is October 20th. That is my birthday. And Likewise, my Social Security card begins 1984. This gang who wrote the script for John Lennon, which is used by the Green Party, signed me up for that Social Security card when I was young. And like the Green Party, they have a woman named Jill who illustrated giving the nerve agent that was given to me. See the illustration of the nerve agent gave me this big purple disc thing, and then played a war game with me on Mount Desert Island, surrounding my name with positive and negative signs. A white racist working with the Black Panthers made me into a death row experiment. And the nerve agent was a reversal of D.W. Griffith's representation of a black man drooling at the mouth. They made it sound like I was drooling with desire for Leslie Katz. They put these screaming faces coming through nylon. I don't know if you can make it out there. I'll try to get a better image of it for you. But on the cover of the Student Union, when they claimed they found the letters, I have a plate that has just like Starting Over from these scriptwriters, which was Lennon's song from the 1950s. And they slash or murdered a bystander. So the point is they're making they don't care about anything but the money. They no longer care about my innocence or anything else than they care about Gaz's innocence. And they have this symbol for that, and then Noah in the cement, because they're using an ark concept. And what they did was, back when the person was having me on Mount Desert Island, who surrounds the name with positive and negative signs, and they were making me out to be craving sex. They made genocide porn peep. Notice the graphic dialogue of the circular spyglass appears in You Only Live Twice. And the woman who was the co-star in You Only Live Twice made a Mothra film with this personality in 1966. See how he looks so much like John Lennon? It's a double fantasy that they're working. And the genocide people in the Green Party were staring at me today in the lunchroom. They know they made genocide peep of me. They did not have my permission, but they hid it under psychiatric authorities. And it was people both who were afflicted by AIDS and who released AIDS collaborating. That's what our society has come to. And they have some books called things like Survival of the Wisest and Sexual Self-Destruct, The Conscience of the West. And I'll just show you a little bit of the research I found. This is from Number One Kung Fu. We'll Know You're Alive. This is from Mannix. I Want You to Find Out Who Killed Me. And this is from one of their early film noirs. He Did See You. He Thinks I'm Dead. This idea of cinema, timeless film moment where cinema celebrates itself from Hitler's Germany, was the essence of this plan that went back to the days of Fayum when Mussolini was meeting with D.W. Griffith in a counterfeiting den. And when you look at the Pit News, you find a list of names. Oh, this is one of the images that from the gang that pretended to find the letters that were planted on me. There's this person who is now in a New York modern art facility. You can see him down here. His name is Matthew Yablonsky or something. But the name Yoko is hidden in his name. This was when her attorney, pretending to be the attorney for Peter Gabriel so I wouldn't get wise or suspicious, showed up on behalf of the Neva Corporation, who used the C in the Star of David for the pornography genocide. You can see there maybe it would be like starting over from an old 50s movie. And when you want to talk about be shushies, let's pretend we don't know anything about this. The reverse side of my father's obituary, and he was the liberal patriarch of Pitt. You know, he drove a school bus in retirement. Has green inject, notice when they had me on Mount Desert Island, he was talking about a scheme to transform the human race by injecting the blood. Inject and parochial values and don't know who, like Don Ono Netanyahu. Don't know who. The green. So this thing underwriting the Green Party's porno peep in Tacoma's land stake on it. I mean, they put me into self-destruct. They've given me Parkinson's. They tortured me to death. Is on behalf of people who were an ARC that pretend to be, oh, we're the Black Panthers, but they're the Green Party. They're with white Nazis. Wilzel was extolling Goebbels, and they murdered my father. They have the green Germany and the greening of Germany on the back of his obituary. Anybody who knew him and his Jewish family realizes what a sarcastic thing that is to put on his obituary. Speaking of sarcasm, this is from the script. And this is what they were producing. And you're not supposed to turn on John Lennon, who turned you on. Don't you remember? John Lennon turned you on. Don't turn on him. This is Seattle's play. I don't know how, I honestly don't know how they thought of it, but I know when they thought of it. If somebody had told me they're going to get a blackout about a genocide in the name of John Lennon, I would have really struggled to grasp the idea of such a sadistic, retarded joke. So I doubt I'll ever really understand how they managed to get a blackout on the way I was tortured, but I'm sure that Israel appreciates it. I mean, look, they got a free pass into Gaza with the help of the Arabian intelligentsia, the help of the Russians, because all of those people were at Pitt when the Jeffin Corporation and Donald Trump pretended to find these letters and say, "Oh, Jimmy could have saved John Lennon. Jimmy could have saved John Lennon." Worked like a song. Look at them stormtroopers. Seattle was bragging and building momentum for them. What good did it do me to try to go to the police? I went to the principal, said they were going to kill me, and then they kidnapped me. I disappeared for a month into torture chambers. Nobody even looked for me, reported me missing. I had gone to the principal in tears, biting my fingernails bloody. Made he sent me because he couldn't stand the sight of me biting my fingernails in terror. hide in a towel closet. They made a joke of it. They said, don't say like Anne Frank. I went to the police station to report them. I went to later to the FBI office. No, the FBI said, let's make those papers into a placemat for a dinner. I hitchhiked from Pittsburgh to St. Louis to talk to one of these individuals, to hear, to feel their presence. Made no difference whatsoever. I I made a historic record of my efforts before I understood what was going on. And they were just churning the treadmills to get it to happen. They were behind it. And that's what you're not allowed to know. That's what you're not. I showed you things you're not allowed to see or understand or evaluate. The way to them, it's like cinema celebrating itself, right? We got them to believe it. Hey, they went, and now they're applauding. They all love it.